I think Buffett is right. 2 weeks ago, he equated AI to nuclear weapons, which is an incredibly powerful technology whose genie you can't put back in the bottle, whose 99.9% of use cases are generally quite societally positive, but the 0.1% of use cases destroys humanity. And so I think you guys are unbelievably naive on this topic, and you're letting your ideology fight your common sense. The reality is that there are probably 95 billion trillion use cases that are incredibly positive, but the 1,000 negative use cases are so destructive, and they're equally possible. And the reason they're equally possible, and this is where I think there's a lot of intellectual dishonesty here, is we don't even know how transformers work. The best thing that happened when Facebook open sourced Llama was also that somebody stealthily released all the model weights.
Yeah.
Think about it as it's a solution to a problem. The solution looks like a polynomial equation. Let's take a very simple one. Let's take Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus y squared equals z squared. So if you want to solve an answer to a problem, you have these weights, you have these variables, and you have these weights associated with it. The slope of a line, y equals mx plus b, okay? What a computer does with AI is it figures out what the variables are, and it figures out what the weights are. The answer to identifying images flawlessly turns out to be 2x plus 7, where x equals this thing. Now take that example and multiply it by 500 billion parameters and 500 billion weights, and that is what an AI model essentially gives us as an answer to a question. So even when Facebook released Llama, what they essentially gave us was the equation, but not the weights. And then what this guy did, I think it was an intern apparently or somebody, he just linked the weights so that we immediately knew what the structure of the equation looked like. So that's what we're basically solving against. But we don't know how these things work. We don't really know how transformers work. And so this is my point when I think you guys are right about the overwhelming majority of the use cases, but there will be people who can nefariously create havoc and chaos. And I think you got to slow the whole ship down to prevent those few folks from ruining it for everybody.